Normally I try to give some background information on whatever anime I happen to be discussing. That way, anyone who hasn't seen the series doesn't feel lost. But today, I think I'd rather just yammer on and on about whatever I feel like and not bother explaining anything.
That sounds like a bad idea, Jacob. You might end up isolating a lot of viewers who don't catch all the references you're making.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Wait. Cute anime mascot. You can talk?
Yes. Now let's never discuss how or why I can do this for 10 episodes.
Sounds good to me. Hello, I'm Jacob Chimera, and welcome to the Anime Lookback at Fall 2017. Animegataris was a series that just kinda came and went. It wasn't especially popular, and if I'm being honest, that's a reputation that's well-deserved. It was a nice show, but not a great show. However, there is something special about it that I believe makes it worth watching. The show focuses on Asagaya Minoue, a high school student rediscovering her childhood love of anime. She joins an anime club at her school filled with all sorts of colorful characters, including a rich otaku, a light novelist fan, a chinibyo, a cosplay maniac, a pretty boy obsessed with idols, and a talking cat mascot. As Minoue learns more about anime, things get weirder and weirder in this hybrid of a slice of life and parody anime. This is by no means the best parody anime I've seen. A lot of the jokes don't land, and because it is partially a slice of life story, parts of it can feel slow in comparison to the faster-paced comedic scenes. While this isn't the best or the funniest parody anime, I would describe it as the most accurate. Unlike most parody anime, the characters in this show don't dress up like Dragon Ball Z fighters or use ninjutsu from Naruto. They mostly just stand around talking about anime. But the way they talk captures how anime fans in real life talk. The passion you can feel as they discuss the shows they love is incredible. Likewise, the sheer bewilderment you'll feel when they're talking about something you've never heard of also reproduces a facet of any fanbase. It's exactly like when you listen to people discuss a book or movie you've never heard of. You can tell they love the thing they're a fan of, but you still have absolutely no idea what they're actually saying about it. The characters in this show feel like real anime fans, so it's easy to empathize with them. Minoue reminds me a lot of myself when I was first delving into anime. Initially, she's bewildered by the sheer amount of content that the industry produces. But she's still curious and wants to understand this thing that so many of her friends love. As she watches more anime and spends more time in the club, she begins to engage more actively in the group's discussions. She becomes a full member of the community. That's why I like this show. Animegataris is a loving satire of the anime fanbase and industry, and it uses subtle elements instead of the normal over-the-top jokes that most parodies make. Take, for example, the show's joke about fan service. At the start of each episode, Minoue's friend Obata Yui is shown depicting a standard piece of fan service, such as showing off her thigh gap, or a close-up of her lips while she's taking a drink from the water fountain. It's usually shown out of context or while the main characters are talking about something completely unrelated. Heck, there's even an episode where the opening theme is changed so all the characters are replaced with Yui. This is a nice jab at how fan service is overused and often distracts from an anime's main focus. There's also a plotline about the anime club trying to make their own anime for the school festival, which includes plenty of jokes about how thankless certain jobs in the industry are and how difficult it is to make even short anime. The club's resulting project is pretty much exactly what you'd expect a bunch of teenagers' first attempt at an anime to look like. But this lets the show make the point that sometimes the passion and work you put into a project, not the end result, can make something worthwhile. If you don't mind me venturing into spoiler territory, which, by the way, spoilers. I like how the show hints at a larger story going on behind the scenes. Basically, the anime world is leaking into the real world. If you pay attention, you'll notice that because of this, the show gradually becomes less grounded in reality and more like an anime. This culminates in a finale that pokes fun at a phrase commonly uttered by fans. I wish life was like an anime. The conflict of the last few episodes is Minoue trying to find a balance between loving anime but not letting it control her life. It's interesting to see her character struggle with how much of her time and herself she should be giving up, especially when it seems for a moment that her friends care more about anime than about spending time with her. Granted, the reveal that Koiki is a villain needed a lot more build-up, and the final episode is incredibly rushed, but I appreciate the show's sentiment, even if the execution could have been better. In spite of this anime's flaws, its tendency to drag, and its occasionally poor pacing, I still recommend it. Even if it's not the kind of show I would watch over and over again, I am glad I did watch it, and you should see it at least once for yourself. Even as it mocks the anime industry and fanbase, it shows that it loves the medium. It's subtle, with just enough self-aware humor to make it enjoyable, and the characters feel genuine. I think that alone makes it worth at least one viewing. Don't you?
Yeah, I think it does.
Thank you. See? He agrees with me.